Without a doubt.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, sign.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start the roll call sentence.
When I call your name, please say present. Jason Zimmerman, Chief Grace Cacciola. Here. Lieutenant Kenny Cheng, Deputy Chief Mario Tompkins, Andrew Dahl, Allison Burke, William Goffin,
Present.
Daniel Mizels, Robert Bristol, Detective John Gregorio, James Pointer,
Present.
Gerald Gelbard,
Present.
Joseph Schenker, David Benelli,
No.
Michael Rayola, Michael Batch, Mordecai Lax, Martina Baccarella. Here. Bree Diglio. Here. Nancy Benedetto. Here. Arthur Cooper.
Here.
Robert Krupe.
Here.
Constantine Carrington. Andrew Fuchs.
Here.
Benjamin Fay.
Here.
Michael Combs. Giddy DeLangsam. Brian Levinsky.
Present.
Stephen Paluso.
Here.
Warren Barzilay.
Thank you. So moving along, approval of the October 28, 2025 meeting minutes. So you should have seen them. Any questions about the minutes? No questions. Can we have a approval of the minutes? Raise your hand. Very good. Moving along to the correspondence report. Membership of the Office of the Council received excusal requests from Mike Rayola, Robert Bristol, Jason Zimmerman, Andrew Dahl. Robert Bristol informed the council on November 25th that Mass Goldfarb is no longer employed at New York City Emergency Management and should be removed as a representative. FDNY correspondence received from Matthew T. Talty, Deputy General Counsel at FDNY Bureau of Legal Affairs, outlining concerns regarding the proposed interfacility guideline. New York State DOH and Bureau of Emergency Medical Services and Trauma Systems, Drew Chesney, Unit Chief of Instructional Standards and Compliance, within the Education and Training Branch of the Division of State EMS, informed the council that the NYU Langone and Brooklyn College EMS correspondence applications has been sent out for review on August 20th. As of November 20th, approximately 90 days have passed since their submission. In accordance with regulations, which allow the division to render a determination after 45 days, the division proceeded with review and has approved the sponsorships for both NYU Langone and Brooklyn College. The Division of State EMS has approved and released the following policy updates. Policy 25/07 EMS course funding update to supersede policy 23/09B. Policy statement 2508 education pilot projects to supersede policy 23/08.B. New York State Department of Bureau of and Trauma System policy statement 25/09 super melodic airway education for BLS practitioners was received. Alda Asanaga, Chief Medical Officer of New York State Department of Health, notified the council to approve the New York State City Health and Hospital Corporation South Brooklyn Health as a thrombectomy capable stroke center effective November 12, 2025. Of instruction that EMS partners being formed for system integration. New York State DOH enforcement. Anthony DeLucia, Saginaw, Michigan, certification revoked effective November 19th for violations of 10 NYC RR Part 800. Okay, I don't think I need to read all the things. Okay, so it's in the record if anyone wants to review it. Henry Loriano, Brooklyn, New York, surrender certification effective October 24, 2025. Okay, the enforcement actions for both providers can be viewed in New York State DOH Bureau of EMS and TS EMS display action enforcement action page. And there's a website if anyone would like to ask, we have to provide it. New York State DOH, okay, nothing to no correspondence. Ambulance agencies, application for transfer operating authority received November 10th, okay, from Timothy C. Hannigan of Hannigan Law Firm, okay, for transfer of Emergent Care New York LLC. I guess also known as Empress Emergency Ambulance Services and the Empress Ambulance Service, Emergency Care Empress Ambulance Services, Montefiore EM, Star Ambulance, Mobile Medic EMS, Mobile Life, and Empress EMS to Brave GAC Holdings. That's a mouthful, right? Correspondence is none. CME Training, Medicine Health Network submitted notice of its upcoming resilience and suicide prevention in pre-hospital care symposium scheduled for December 6th, 2025 at Flushing Hospital Medical Center. Nothing else there. Office of the Council sent the following correspondence. Agenda's minutes and associated attachment to the meeting. New York City REMAC Advisory 2025/09. Obstructed airway adult pediatric protocol revisions effective immediately to be published on July 1st, 2026. And lastly, New York City REMAC Advisory 2025/10. Increase in synthetic cannabinoid K2 spice incidence in clinical guidance for EMS providers effective immediately on November 18, 2025. And that's my correspondence report.
I have a question.
Sure.
With the correspondence from Matthew Tolkien, who's the an attorney with FDNY, is this going to REMAC about the concerns about our interfacility guidelines? Do you know anything about?
Yeah, so the NY has concerns with regarding the applicability of the interfacility guidelines to stat transfers, and whether this is an Article 28 issue or an Article 30 issue. So Matt Torty is our legal counsel, and he has raised those concerns. Dr. Schenker, as far as I know, with REMSCO leadership are trying to arrange for a meeting between a legal representative of REMSCO to be identified and FDNY to see how we can bridge these concerns.
I know this is a REMAC issue, but what is the difference between a stat transfer and a facility transfer? Because they're not the same thing.
And these protocols written, not protocols, guidelines.
Yeah.
Which I personally think it's a good document. That a lot of effort was invested into it. And with participation of all the big leaders of of interfacility transfer from New York City, Presbyterian, Northwell, Senior Care, and they were written to set a minimum standard for planned scheduled interfacility transfers. We are not sure how much it really applies to stat transfers when they're initiated within the 911 system. And that is something that that needs to be clarified.
Okay, so your concern is the stat transfers that are part of 911 system.
Because it would be difficult for all. And that's why ambulance 911 transfers the standards of a planned scheduled interfacility.
See, that's where I don't understand, because 911 ambulances should have nothing to do with plans.
Yeah, but once in I agree. But once in a blue moon, very rarely, we are sometimes called upon to provide an ambulance for staff transfer.
Is that like between city hospitals?
Like between any hospital to any hospital, because they can't arrange for their own.
Yeah.
I mean, EOS should have their own scheduled plan.
Yeah.
Transfer agreements before they need an ambulance. The rare occasion when they don't, then we right now provide a BLS ambulance. Which essentially does not have much to it, and we expect the hospital to provide the staff and the pumps and whatever is needed. We are not sure that meets what's written in the protocol guideline.
So your group needs to identify a way to allow the fire department.
And I think,
Yeah.
I think that we can find a way to do that.
Oh, yeah.
We just need to let the legal.
Okay, no, I just was unclear as to why it was
I just had
an
a
issue.
question with that, because I was on that tag for, and it was
Yeah.
going off for quite a while. And I wasn't present for when they finally did present it at REMAC, but I thought it was a guidance document. It
That's
was
right.
not a,
Yeah.
it's not a protocol, so it's like, it doesn't impact anyone, it's like, this is,
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
These are guidelines, okay, but we become very
is it the
sensitive.
fear that they're gonna get sued because they don't follow
Exactly.
the guide- yeah.
So we need just to make it a way that it's, there's even a sentence over there that says that the physician can change the composition of the department.
Yeah.
So but we need to make everybody comfortable.
Once it becomes a guideline, it's considered a standard of care, and any lawyer can go after it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was what they were concerned about, or that they didn't, or they were, it as a protocol.
But as I said, the guidelines
Because
are
we
good.
can't correct the invisibility of the.
Okay, any more discussion?
Thank you.
Okay, moving along, staff report, okay, emergency preparedness update, Joe?
Right, so staff's been busy working on a couple of different items. First, we've received a request from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to provide citywide data on public access to population. So we've been providing that data to City Health on a quarterly basis. One of their initiatives is really trying to reach out to EAD participating entities to ensure that they are have placing pediatric pads in their AEDs. So it's following along with the latest AHA guidelines. We're continuing to work on expanding our mental health program. We've had a number of meetings with many stakeholders. We'll soon be setting up a EMS mental health stakeholder committee consisting of some major players throughout the region to help guide us as staff and help and guide our program and ensure we have feedback and accountability to all of our members throughout the city. So that's ongoing. We'll be announcing more information on that coming soon. So we did receive a request from the REMAC to clarify requirements for doing a 30-day public comment for our protocols. Specifically for protocols that were sent up to CMAC. So we've put in a request to legal counsel on that just to kind of to provide clarity on what our requirements are for meeting public comment periods, public notices for when the REMAC puts out. One of the things I want to say is we attended the Vital Signs Conference last week. It was very well put together. I highly encourage anyone from the region to attend it. And I do want to give special recognition, as was done at REMAC, to Dr. Doug Isaacs of our REMAC, winning position of excellence at the state, as well as to, and I also want to give recognition to Borough of Manhattan Community College and the Whitney Beehart programs for each receiving a state EMS innovation.
Nice.
Great. In addition, we're working with regional partners to improve and expand EMS capacity for responding to special pathogens. We are continuing to update our infection control program. We launched our infection control awareness course that is updated and on the LMS. We've already had a couple hundred people take it, so we've gotten positive reviews from anyone that has taken that class already. We are still working on the part 2 and part 3 of that program, which is the in-person standards and practices version of that course, which is focusing on all the hands-on practical skills for donning and doffing of PPE, setting up the ambulance. And then finally, we're hoping that by the spring of next year, we'll roll out the infection control officers program, which will be a trainer level program and certify people as fit testers, so that this way they can implement infection control within their agencies. Any questions on any of those items?
But you said you did the second part already? The first one, is there a second part?
So you already did the standards and practices. We rolled that out initially in June.
Yeah.
So we've taken some of the feedback we got from that and we are re-rolling it out early next year.
Oh, so you meant-
Right. So the only other item is there's some great CME that's occurring throughout the city, specifically being done by our friends at Glen Oaks, being headed by Dr. Ruby, as well as our friends at Kings County Hospital. So we've been in discussions with them with taking some of those virtual CMEs and taking the recordings of them, modifying and updating them, and placing them on our LMS so that this way the region can continue to benefit from that work beyond those training. So that'll be some of the work for the training that committee. Other than that, that's it for the staff.
Great, thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe? Joe, I guess we go on to program agency update.
Sure. So on the program agency update, For those of you that may remember, at the last REMSCO meeting, we presented the the fiscal year 25 program agency budget for the regional council office. As you should be aware, in our region, we have two program agencies. One is the regional council office, the second is the New York Fire Department. So the second program agency in the region is the New York City Fire Department. As part of our process, since we've gone into a new program agency cycle, is just like us, with this body of our budget, we also have to review and approve their budget, since the job of the program agencies is to do the work of this body and meet our mission. So we get to review the budgets, make sure that we are spending the money appropriated to us by the state. So the fire department basically breaks down their budget to 4 key items, broken into 6 staff positions. So one is their program agency coordinator, basically my counterpart at the fire department. The second is medical affairs coordination. That is someone that does a lot of the assistant and staff work for the work that OMA does, pertaining to quality assurance and improvement, online medical control. You have the REMAC liaison for our paramedic credentialing, issuing and then conducting the REMAC exam on a monthly basis. And then finally, they put in for their EMS Fellows program, which again further supports the quality improvement. They help with the online medical control, and then overall expanding the presence of EMS physicians within our region. So just like how we are grossly underpaid by the state for the work that the office does, fire department, their expenses far exceed that from which they receive reimbursement as well. Does anyone have any questions?
What is the time period for this program agency?
So our current program agency contract runs from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2029.
Okay, so this is going to be applied for that until 2029.
Yeah, unless they do any budget modification. Similar to how we presented our budget from this past fiscal year, it mostly carries over year to year.
Are you going to tell us whether we got paid yet?
What's next? This is the MOU that the chair of the REMSCO signed with the fire department. If anybody wishes to read over it, most of it is legalese, but again, just mostly specifies fire department does a lot of program agency work related to the 911 system.
You're looking for a motion to accept?
Yes.
I make the motion to accept.
Second. Marvin. Is a,
I guess we have to vote.
Hand vote?
Yeah.
okay, all in favor? Raise your hand.
That's all of our vacancies.
Got it? Not a statute.
Anyone not in favor? Raise your hand. Any abstentions?
It's unanimous.
Yeah, unanimous. Vote carries.
All right, so other items for program agency, we submitted our fiscal year 2025 quarter 4 regional council voucher. We're waiting for approval from the state on that. We also submitted our fiscal year 26 regional council budget to the state, and we are waiting approval on that. By the way, we're waiting for greater than 1 month on both of those items already. And we are still awaiting approval for our fiscal year 25 quarter 1 program agency voucher. That has been pending now for almost 60 days. So state's staying on the ball with following up on paying us out for our contracts.
Joe, sorry.
Yes.
Can you tell us the total amount that they owe us for program agency and for regional council?
So at this point, since we are currently within coming to the end of Q2 fiscal year 26, On the program agency side, the state owes us probably about $350,000.
Wow.
Right, so that would be the entirety of fiscal year 25, we now have 295,000. And then half of this year for fiscal year 26. Well, so it's actually closer to 400.
And that doesn't include regional council, that's just
That
program
does not,
agency.
that's just program agency. On
How
the
about regional
regional
council?
council side, for regional council, we're much closer. You
Well,
know,
they only
so
give us
it's figured they'll
25,000.
Probably owe us about $15,000 by the end of this year.
This is,
Oh, that's just a pittance.
Yeah, it's only, you know, well over almost
course.
450
They're just
that
doing, yeah.
owed back to us from the state.
I hope the state is dialed in today so they can hear once again how efficient they are.
is there anyone, at this point, should we reach out to the controller's office? I know we've done that in the past, and this is ridiculous. I mean, this is like a year and a half late money. I know you don't want to, you know, make the state too upset, but they have, there's no justification for this, none at all. They need to be, God knows what they're doing to the other people in the rest of the state.
How long have we been waiting though?
Well, this
60
is
days.
like a year and a half worth of stuff, so a year,
It all
It's
stems
60 days
from,
we're waiting, right?
no, we're waiting since 2024.
yeah, so it all stems from the fact that the program agency contracts were not even presented to us to start leading the contracting process until April of 2025 of this year.
What
Is when we got our award letters. And getting your award letter is just the first step in actually getting to a contract. There's a number of steps you have to take with the state in order to move from receiving an award to having a signed contract that you can then vouch for. So at this moment, right, it was only about 2 months ago that we were even, back in September, that we were even able, that we had gotten to the point we had a signed contract that started vouchering. Within a few weeks, we had submitted our first quarter voucher for fiscal year 25. So we had to wait for updated reporting tools and guidelines and things like that. That voucher has been going on 60 days that we are waiting for approval on.
Honestly, I know you have enough to do, but can you put together a timeline in writing? Because we need to show this to whoever,
Our legislators.
our legislators, because they had 1 year that they delayed writing us a new contract. And then they delayed writing the reporting tool. And it's a great tool to make sure that nobody gets any money. And I don't believe that this was accidental.
So one of the things that they've done is they've been following up with us saying, hey, you haven't given us your fiscal year 26 budget, which I've been withholding because I'm waiting to see what they will approve and decline on our first voucher.
Yeah.
Right, because we submit for a wide variety of expenses, right? We have leeway because they short pay us so much as we presented at the last council meeting. Right, they really only give us about half, not even half.
Not
of what
even half.
We lay out expense wise to do the work of this body. So, you know, so we don't submit for all of our expenses to them.
Yeah.
And so when they kick stuff back, then I know not to put it in the next year's budget if they're giving us grief on it. So they're waiting for us to submit that, and then I say, great, if I do that, can I then start vouchering for this fiscal year? And they said, no, you have to wait till you finish vouchering for last fiscal year. I go, why? Because they cannot carry money over, even though it's technically a 5-year contract. Each service period is broken into 1 year, and you cannot carry over monies from one to the other. Which means, okay, so why can't I voucher for 2 fiscal years at a time if we're completing the work? And the budget in fiscal year 25 does not affect the budget of fiscal year 26. I was originally told no, then I was told we'll take a look at it. And the last thing I had is we'll discuss it at program agency at the next REMSCO, which will be in 2 weeks.
Well, maybe we need to send a letter to the controller like tomorrow, so that you might get a response by the program agency.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
I think you're better off
No.
with legislators.
We have to deal with the legislators as well.
That's why I'm saying a timetable is good, because when you're dealing with these people, they don't understand what we do anyway.
Yeah.
but they may understand looking at it visually. You know,
I
and-
do believe I agree with you, Marie. This is deliberate.
And I'd like to know which other program agencies have closed. If there are any others, who's hanging on by a thread. Because we have underserved regions in this state. They're already so underserved and their program agencies can't even do the little that they used to do because they don't get funded.
My understanding, the one program agency that did close, it is reopened. They're getting reestablished.
That's the one up in Buffalo.
Yes.
Buffalo.
I mean, Buffalo's a big city too. How do you just like not support their program agency? You know,
Same way they're not supporting us. We're a
Yeah.
big city.
Yeah,
They don't
This
care.
speaks to
yeah.
some looking at all these processes that we do. You know, the state obviously is outwardly expressing whether there is a need for regional councils to exist,
Yeah, exactly.
what their purposes are, what their usefulness is. And so it is important that for us, our body, to show why we should continue to exist as a body, that we make our quorums, have our meetings, make sure our processes are transparent, and show that we're being useful to the agencies and the providers that are in our region.
Can't wait to join you.
I wish I
I
could.
am going up.
Bring
there
it
with
back
you.
up with me to
I
the
can't
state.
go. But really, you know, this is just in line with the state's desire to have a central leadership and no outreach to the regions.
Told him if you bring in Nancy, that's not one person, that's an army you're bringing
Oh,
with you.
you're very cute, but thank you.
So that concludes the program agency report. If anybody has any questions.
No questions? Good discussion. Okay, moving along, ambulance committee report?
Okay, ambulance committee. There are two items, action items for right now. To transfer of operating authorities, both of these applications have had public notice. They were sent out to all members, and ambulance committee reviewed them and found them ready to be recommending approval of both. So I'm going to do one at a time, and the first application, this is a seconded motion from ambulance committee. The REMSCO recommend approval of the transfer of operating authority for primary care ambulance to Ambulance New York 6, DBA.go, with operating authority in Richmond County to Ambulance NY 6, DBA.go. The ambulance primary care only has authority in Richmond County. And it's going to ambulance who already has 5 county authority. The paperwork was complete. The state did competency and fitness that found all the new operators to be fit. So we bring this forward for a roll call vote at the regional council. Does anybody have any questions about this application? We've sent out copies also, but if you have specific questions, I'm ready to answer them. Okay, so that's the
Okay, so we need a
recommendation.
motion to, before we vote?
So
No,
second
this is
motion.
the second motion.
Motion, okay.
So, shall we do this one?
Marie.
Yes, sorry. Oh, anybody need to recuse themselves?
Yeah.
Anybody with pecuniary interest? That means you're making directly money from this transfer. Pecuniary. I'm gonna ask again.
The word of
Anybody
the
need to be recused? You know of anybody that should be recused? Okay. So now we're gonna do a roll call.
Please say in favor, against, or abstain. Jason Zimmerman, Andrew Dahl, William Goffin.
Oh. What?
Grace Cacciola,
In favor.
Detective John DeGroat, Robert Bristol, James Pointer,
Favor.
Gerald Gelbart,
In favor.
David Benelli, Martina Beccarello, in favor. Marie Diglio,
In favor.
Nancy Benedetto,
In favor?
Arthur Cooper,
Favor.
Robert Krupe,
In favor.
Andrew Fuchs,
Aye.
Benjamin Fay,
Favor.
Stephen Paluso,
Same.
Brian Levinsky,
In favor.
Well, everybody's on. That's around everybody's on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a roll call and a signed form that has to go up to the state. It's just to let, you're allowed to abstain if you want to, but recognize an abstention also is basically a no vote. So unless you have something specific that you, specific reason not to support, consider how you're voting. Because these are statutory votes, and if we don't get at least 14, then the whole motion fails. Okay. The next motion is another transfer of operating authority. That comes as in the form of a seconded motion from the ambulance committee. We are recommending approval of the transfer of operating authority for Emergicare NY, DPA Empress Emergency Ambulance Service, and Empress Ambulance Service, DBA Emergicare New York, Empress Ambulance Services, Montefiore DBA M-Star Ambulance, Mobile Medic EMS, Mobile Life, and Empress Ambulance. And whose primary territory is in Bronx and New York County. Now these are two certificates in the Bronx, and they just have all these different DBAs, but it's two certificates. And these are all going to be transferred to Brave GAC Holdings LP. This is a nationwide company, and the Department of Health has done competency and fitness on all those operators. And the application appears complete. And we've received no negative comments from our public notice. So that's our recommendation from ambulance.
when I call your name, please say in favor, against, or abstain. William Goffin,
Stop.
Grace Cacciola,
In favor?
Detective Jackie Cooper, James Pointer,
In favor.
Gerald Gelbart,
In favor.
David Benelli,
Sure.
Martina Beccarello. In favor. Rita Glue,
In favor.
Nancy Benedetto,
In favor?
Arthur Cooper,
Favor.
Robert Krupe,
In favor.
Andrew Fuchs,
Favor.
Benjamin Fay,
In favor.
Stephen Paluso,
Favor.
Brian Levinsky.
In favor.
With this one count, I'm gonna count with. Okay, so while this is being done, we did not have any applications for determination of public need. We did have some reports from our volunteer assistance tag. Actually, there was no real report, but recruitment and retention, we have a new chair, Dominic Battinelli, and poor guy. And he's off to a good start. Anyone else who'd like to join recruitment and retention, please reach out to Michelle or directly to Dominic. And the last item of business that we did was the review of Mount Sinai's clarification of operating territory. Is that a motion? We did, yeah. The motion that we are recommending is that Mount Sinai's clarification of operating territory, right now their certificate says Midtown Manhattan. So the recommendation from the committee is that community boards 4, 5, and 6 basically fit Midtown Manhattan and to so recommending approval of community boards 4, 5, and 6, New York County. Okay, so that's the recommendation. We're going to put that forward if we get, and we'll send that to the state and a copy to Mount Sinai, and if they have objection, they can reach out to us. Just with clarification of what they think they should be having. It's New York County. It's just Manhattan. Yeah. We can't give them all of Manhattan because their certificate says Midtown. We're not allowed to do an expansion unless we do a CON. But this is
It doesn't have, they have a 7.
yeah, I mean, they have a 7 county and
7 counties.
yeah.
What are the other 2?
That or Suffolk.
Yes, so.
We require a roll call vote for this? I mean, I think we can do for the Mount Sinai clarification of territory. I don't think so. It's not. So can we just have a
Vote.
vote?
All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
You're not making money, because of this stuff.
It's not snap.
So that's passed. We have 13, okay. Cannot remember, was transfer of operating, it's not a CON, you don't need 14 votes in the affirmative for a transfer.
Need your form.
Yeah, we have a quorum.
So what you need,
Our vote here was 13 in favor, 2 abstain. So we don't have 14.
I'd have to go back and
Okay,
look
so
at
we'll get back to everybody about this, but I think it passes. I don't think it
I'll
requires the
have to go
same.
back and look at. Yeah. Article 30.
Okay. So, and that was it for the ambulance committee report.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Marie? And moving along, training and education committee report?
Morty's not here.
Anyone to report for him or?
I don't attend those meetings, but
Okay, so moving along,
but Joe has,
Joe?
Joe can.
oh, okay, thanks, Joe.
All right, so the Training and Ed Committee, they finalized a review for the latest protocol update, really just to get it put out there on the LMS with an attestation. Simple review for the changes that are coming in. They're looking at me strange.
Yeah, because now the implementation date is gonna be July 2026.
Talking about for when they get released.
Yeah, and there will be more changes that we would want to put in. On those radio.
Okay, so
I mean,
so
there's
we're
no point
talking-
in having a half a year, especially with CMAC meeting and all that. I mean,
well, this is, as was discussed at the REMAC meetings, that's what was agreed upon at REMAC.
it was, the implementation date was agreed upon, not the finalization of the training material. Okay, we can talk about.
Okay, that's fine. So the but for the protocol changes that have been approved, in the package that was sent to training and ed, for rollout that was completed, and it was submitted back to the REMAC executive committee just to take a look at, so it's ready to get pushed. The training and ed committee is also looking at, we're continuing to look at getting the fire department CME journals posted up to the LMS, just awaiting that approval, I think, from fire department to allow those materials to get released for LMS uploading. We discussed what I mentioned before about the regional CMEs, getting those posted to the LMS as well. And there is also discussion around developing training for new paramedics coming into the city to understand the differences between the state protocols and the regional protocols, kind of a REMAC test prep program. In addition, the training and ed is reported out on some of the work occurring for RSI and looking at methods for training for that if it gets approved at the regional level. So I believe I hit on all the other things. I'm not sure if anybody else here is on training and ed. If there's anything I missed. Not please.
Any questions for Joe? Thank you for scanning in, for training in. Appreciate that. Next up, REMAC report.
Okay, so, REMAC met a week ago. This room, it was a lovely meeting of both medical standards and REMAC. The motions that were approved were changed to the atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter protocol. And this is to bring that protocol in line with the new HA guidelines where synchronized cardioversion initial joule setting should be 200 and not 100. And also the title of the protocol was sentence with rapid ventricular response was added to the title. So atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter with rapid response. So we be clear that this is not just for someone who has well-controlled, rate controlled AFib or there's a change to, we approved changes to the obstructed emergency protocol and by proxy also to the seizure protocol. The revisions are to bring in line with the ACOG, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and NAMSP statement paper that changed a little bit the definitions of blood pressure, the blood pressure thresholds, definition of preeclampsia with severe features. So it's either you have a blood pressure of 160 over 110, or you have 140 or blood pressure of 140 over 90 with features that are suggestive of a severe preeclampsia. And for those patients, dosage of MAG sulfate was changed from 2 grams to 4 grams. There was a sentence added to emphasize that seizure treatment should not be delayed to wait for mixing or administration of magnesium sulfate IV. There was another approval to remove Appendix R from the protocols. Appendix R was kind of a bucket that contained all, just for educational purposes, contained a lot of state protocols that were not applicable for our region, but were still there to be in line with the state protocols. It was felt that that Appendix R is no longer up to date, and there's no reason to maintain and keep the protocol. The STEMI tag is coordinating with Greater New York Hospital Association to schedule a regional STEMI meeting with stakeholders. The interfacility guidelines we discussed briefly, they were approved. The tag has been officially disbanded. The patient destination policy tag did not meet and will be disbanded as well, with future case reviews if they arise being brought to the REMAC QA committee. The definition of medically complex is being developed. There was a further discussion about RSI, whether RSI should be implemented in our region. There is a list of criteria of standards that we believe should be met in order to implement such a program in New York City. It's a very stringent list, but it's important to abide by it. And we have to see if there will be agency buy-in into implement before deciding whether we implement it in New York City or not. There was also discussion about, might be mixing up with, actually I'm mixing up with medical standards. There was discussion about the IGEL for BLS, whether to how are we going to implement this in New York City? And there was a discussion whether we need continuous rainfall photography with recording in order to use it in New York City. That was sent back to protocol for that ends the REMAC report. The next meeting is going to be on January 20th next year at 5 p.m. in this room. Any questions?
What is the patient destination? Is that a continuation of that
No, that started all with the, it's
CMS stuff when you were trying to?
no, it was no, this was when there was a change to the 10-minute rule.
Mhm.
And the number of hospitals, the number of hospitals that were allowed to bring a patient. There was a lot of discussion back and forth with REMAC, with FDNY, with Greater New York Hospital Association, and it is now 15 minutes to one of 3 or 4 hospitals. I think that alleviated most of the concern.
Thank you.
So there's no reason to.
Since I'm talking about this, whatever happened to that CMS initiative about specialty destinations that are not?
Alternate destinations.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to secure MOUs yet. It's been put on hold. There's some problem also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
83, that has been CMS has,
no, but we were going to, CMS
CMS
has
has
disbanded, but Dr. Prezant, along with several of the voluntary participating hospitals, decided that we were going to continue with treat in place and alternate destinations. It's still on the table. It just hasn't been implemented. They need to iron out some issues with some of the urgy centers on whether or not it falls under Article 27, I want to say. And that needs to all be clarified before we can deliver patients and have an MOU put into place.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask Billy. Are you still unable to bill because of that? And is it still limited to Medicaid patients?
No, we were going to open it up to everyone. And again, because it wasn't going to fall under CMS anymore. It was just something that New York City was going to do as a partnership that we would continue because we thought it would alleviate the congestion in EDs, and patients that did not require an ED would not be causing more congestion at the facility, and that they would have the urgy centers to go to, and maybe even put in the mindset, I can now go to an urgy center on my own. This is the process. But Dr. Prezant is heading that, and we haven't had a meeting in several weeks, so it's on hold right now.
Is there anything?
But it's not dead.
Councils assist with that or REMAC? I mean, this is something, unfortunately, it's really necessary
Yeah.
for New York City to have more places to bring patients. I don't know what our place would be. We certainly wouldn't want, to interfere, but maybe having a regional council involved can help.
Grace, does it also include mental health resources?
No, mental health was off the table for the first phase of this, only because we couldn't get any facility to commit to mental health. And also with telemedicine, we couldn't get any facility to commit to have a telemedicine physician on the other side of the line, making those determinations to RMA without really evaluating the patient.
Hard to RMA mental health patient first time doing telemedicine.
But we are very involved. The fire department is very involved with City Hall and Department of Homeless Services. We are doing numerous mental health law 958, 941 removals on a regular basis now. And hopefully that'll alleviate some of the issues.
Hopefully your staff don't get hurt in the process.
Well, workplace violence is always an issue.
Yeah. Very scary.
The reason why it hasn't come to REMSCO. Look, the reason why we really haven't spoken about it much as far as treatment in place and all destination is we're still waiting on CMS to move it for billing purposes. However, since it's already signed off at the state level, you can kind of do it, but you can't bill it. And that unfortunately has been held up since I want to say the beginning of the year. It was submitted to the CMS agency that does the authorizations, the changes in practice, and that was sent in somewhere in December of 2020.
And that's a shame because this is a project that would really help our emergency department, you know, decompress a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, and that was just my question. Thank you very much.
So we need to vote on the REMAC protocol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, regional council has final approval, so if those are new
Oh, okay.
protocols, we just have to, we generally, you know, approve it.
Sure. Want to do them,
We can bunch them together. If that's just okay with that.
It's not our job to process your medicine.
Yeah, and there was an opportunity for questions and we've heard none unless anyone has a question they want to bring to the floor now. Sweet, you take a hand vote. All right. So all in favor? Okay, raise your hand. Okay. Opposed? Abstentions? Carries.
Thank you.
Anything else, David?
No.
Okay, thank you. Quality improvement report, I have that. Michael's not here. Quality Improvement Committee of New York City met virtually November 20th. The following is a summary. No regional restriction, case reviews or data requests were received. The committee unanimously recommends approval of NYU Langone's core sponsor upgrade application to expand the sponsorship to a paramedic program, citing a community-focused grant-supported model for EMT and paramedic training. The committee discussed that the grant funding supporting the First Watch Regional Dashboard has already expired, with agencies such as FDNY now receiving invoices for continued use. While the dashboard is recognized as a valuable quality improvement tool for individual agencies, its regional impact has been mixed due to challenges with adoption and full utilization. The committee agreed to gather detailed information on current agency use and costs to assess options for maintaining the dashboard and will report back with recommendations for future actions. We'll hear more about that in the future. Recent protocol changes concerning pre-eclampsia, flutter management, cable review. The committee agrees comprehensive QA review is not needed this time, but we'll revisit the case as needed. Okay, those protocols were just approved. The committee is developing a secure online form to collect reports on regional patient care and transport issues. A draft will be prepared with attention to usability and data privacy and circulated to feedback prior to implementation. Lastly, the committee is forwarding a community complaint about delayed EMS response. The FDNY will coordinate with stakeholders for follow-up review. The next QI meeting is scheduled for December 19th at 11 a.m. Any questions? Yeah.
For sponsor application.
Oh,
REMSCO.
okay. Is that a
It needs a,
local or?
no, it could be a handbook.
Yeah.
Um,
Do we need a
just
motion?
read the, yeah, read the thing again.
Where's that? Oh, this one, right?
Is that one of the ones that we, in the correspondence that
Lego.
the state already approved?
Yes, Joe is actually going to bring that more attention to this.
Okay, so let him speak first and then we can do whatever. Joe, are you gonna talk? Good.
Remind me what we're talking.
Oh, that the state already approved the core sponsorship, so that we're about to vote on?
Oh, yeah, so. Yeah, so the core sponsorship application for Brooklyn College EMS was sent to us during the summer. It was initially brought up to the QA committee at the September meeting. At that meeting, it was determined that, hey, we need to speak with or sponsor applicant to get additional information. We attempted multiple times to try to set up a meeting with them to ask those questions, but had not heard back. We followed up with the state to let them know, hey, that we've been attempting to try to process this application. And the state informed us that, well, we exceeded our 60-day time period for a comment, and they already moved forward with the application.
That was the same with the NYU?
No, the NYU was separate.
Okay, so that wasn't approved by the state?
I
Was that in
assuming
the
it
course?
will be, but we are sending up our,
Okay, so then you still want a vote on it?
Was there
to
still-
approve? I mean,
not on the Brooklyn College one, but on the NYU one, which we did not get that response back. from the state.
so we weren't able to respond to Brooklyn College because they refused, they did not answer any questions?
Correct. Yeah, NYU, we interviewed them, they answered the questions, and so the committee moved forward with approving.
Okay, but then the state said because the 60 days were passed, Brooklyn College could just be upgraded to ALS.
No, not Brooklyn College.
Oh.
That was for Brooklyn College to begin a BLS course sponsorship.
What the Brooklyn College had, a BLS course sponsorship. Am I crazy? Do you remember having a course sponsor? Or was it just annual?
No, ambulance. They were not a correspondent.
I think that we need to send a letter to the state saying, this 60-day thing, because they refuse to speak to us, that it's not grounds for the state to just grant approval without regional involvement. And the fact that Brooklyn College couldn't even be bothered to communicate with us does not portend good work in the system in the future. So the state does what the state does, but we should at least voice that, we have some misgivings.
Yeah, I did reply back to the state to let them know that that was the case. But, in the future, we'll make a more concerted effort to let the state know ahead of time, if we are reaching that 60-day period, and that's why something hasn't been approved, to let them know ahead of time, hey, we are working on this. It's not that we're ignoring it or delaying it.
Yeah, but the state, they're typical, I can't even say the words I want to say, but typical of them that they do not even have the courtesy to call up the affected regional council, say, hey, we're at the 60-day mark, what's going on? I mean, they do have some responsibility. I know they don't think they have any responsibility because they'd like us to disappear off the face of the earth. But, if you want to maintain, a reasonable system where people communicate with each other, especially our training centers, the least they can do is give a call to a regional council, especially New York City. They know that we're on top of a lot of this and that we're very active and involved in our system, and they should not just be approving training centers. And this is contrary to Article 30. I mean, Article 30 says that we're supposed to approve them. Where's the 60-day come from? It's not in Article 30. This is one of their policies that probably, as they've been told, their policies are not law. So, this is just the continuing breakdown of existing systems that work because they want to be in charge. My rant is over.
So do we need to vote on the approval of the NYU Langone course sponsorship upgrade?
Yes.
Yes. We need a motion on that or just a hand vote? I'm gonna make a motion. Oh, someone can make a motion to recommend approval of the NYU Langone course sponsorship upgrade application to expand the sponsorship to a paramedic program. Second. Okay, so all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, opposed,
That's fine.
abstentions. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're done.
And we still have legislative.
Legislative committee, yeah, don't follow your person. I want to see what done.
Okay.
We're getting closer.
Okay.
Legislative committee report.
Be nice. The committee they continue drafting letters to legislators, including language on regional credentialing for EMS providers, medical directors, and medical facilities. That's partially my fault. I was leading the smaller group to go over that and just didn't do it. So we're going to be finishing that within the next 2 or 3 weeks. As well as stating that all demonstration projects within the region require REMSCO approval. The idea that a demonstration project can be started in New York City without, us being involved is a little bit strange, but we're going to be working on getting clearer language that, because at least the REMAC needs to know about these things. Members also discuss quoting the relevant provisions of Article 30 and Part 800, referencing the region's historical credentialing practice. And it does clearly state in Part 800 that we credential. Okay, let's hope that doesn't mysteriously get changed. Members discussed concerns previously raised by Northwell Health regarding regional credentialing due to their operations in multiple counties with differing protocols, which led to discussion of potential cross-credentialing arrangements. The committee didn't make any decisions on that. I know in the past, we have had those agreements in place because we don't expect people to carry 5 different types of regional credentialing approval. So we need to just figure that out, and we'll be working with REMAC maybe to at least look at protocols that different. I know everybody does collaborative except us, but even that, I don't think there's that much difference.
But not much difference, but we'll stay.
Oh, no, we're definitely staying with unified. That the Part 800 allows REMAC to have their own protocol to credential. So we will never give up our protocol, hopefully. Mr. Ranieri provided updates on city and state developments, including public hearings that address both EMS pay parity and the proposal to create a separate EMS department. He will send that's the hearing that it was at City Council, and we sent the link to everybody. We didn't issue a formal statement. I feel bad about that. It just, happened too quickly for us to get together. And I don't know if REMSCO really would want us to send forth an official opinion. Individual opinions are okay, but something like that, we'd have to get REMSCO's approval for. And he also reported on the governor's veto of legislation requiring counties to develop EMS coordination plans. Because it's an unfunded mandate, and that's actually a good thing. Because our plans should not be subject to Department of Health.
We also have the funds we already do.
Yeah, we already are missing $400,000. We can't be doing this stuff. The next legislative committee meeting is scheduled for December 15th. And actually, Mr. Beluso, you're an attorney, and if you are interested, we'd love to have you join our committee.
Yeah,
It's not a lot of work. We do everything by Zoom and we send out.
more than happy.
Thank you very much. Anybody else that would be interested in this? Great.
Maria, I invited the fire department and intergovernmental attorneys to those meetings moving forward.
That's great, because we need to show the state that we're working together, and we don't want to have any conflicts with fire department. We'll have to make our EMS system work for everyone. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions from Earth? Okay, moving along, State EMS Council met in September, so there should have been a council report for the last meeting, right? Okay, so nothing to report today. Next meeting is on December 9th and 10th in Detroit, New York. So, next meeting we'll present the discussion that takes place. Get that meeting. So we're on to unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Okay. And new business, we did the statutory votes. Okay, so any other new business?
Nope.
Just sorry, just one item. Couple of things have come up as we talked about all of our regulatory processes and everything. Regional council staff worked with the Committee on Open Government to pull together a brief training that now sits on our LMS. We sent it to the REMSCO executive and REMAC executive bodies to take a look at it, approve it. We are a public body, so everyone here is supposed to receive annual training on open meeting laws. So that training is now available to all personnel and everybody that sits on the body. It's a recording of one of their virtual sessions. Sits on LMS, takes about 30 minutes to complete.
Okay.
And we will send out a link to it if anybody wishes to see it.
Is that gonna be required?
What's that?
Is that going to be required?
So if you sit on a public body, you're supposed to receive annual training in open meeting. That is what the statute states.
The category A, category B. That's all I care about.
So, and it's also part of our program agency and regional council.
Any other questions, Joe, about that? Any other new business?
No, don't cancel anything.
Okay.
Yes. Article 30. It's looking at Article 30 for a second. Okay, while she's looking. I just wanted to.
Okay.
It's majority only, so we're fine. Both votes carried for the transfer of
Yeah.
operating authority. Thank you, Nancy.
Great, thank you.
I just have one thing. I just wanted to, this is our last meeting of the year, really, until we'll meet again in January. And I want to thank the REMSCO staff. They're doing a great job. There's 7 people doing all this work and trying to corral us like a bunch of cats to do, everything that we have to do. They have new projects with the state, with the city, and honestly, Joe, I don't know how you're handling all this. You and 6 other people. Crazy. Thank you very much for all the work and for, leading us in the right direction. Now you can have a.
Now we can have a motion.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.